Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. This is my third day live in a row. I'm so glad that you could join, and we are on YouTube today. We're going to do a live class, and we are going to be concentrating on multi-row right angle weave. This can get a little bit tedious and a little bit exhausting, so I thought we'd actually just make a pair of earrings out of them. And the multi-row, when it comes to it, is going to be easiest to learn with some bigger beads or multiple beads. So we're actually going to be doing what's called a 2-drop right angle weave. And we are going to be doing 2-drop right angle weave. We're going to do a couple rows, and then we are going to go in and do some more rows. So if you've struggled ever with right angle weave, don't worry, we are going to solve it for you. We're going to do our first row, and then we're going to go in and do a second row, and then we can choose whether or not I have a bag of crystals here. We can embellish our right angle as well. More so than an actual project is the idea that you become really efficient when it comes to right angle weave and understand how to do those multi rows. So we are going to be starting with some 11 OC beads. And I have 2 different colors of 11 OC beads that I want you to have handy because you are going to learn basically what is the top and bottom of boxes. Also, if you are just joining us now, we had a Facebook Live, hitting all the platforms here. We did a Facebook Live on Tuesday, and that we talked about some fringe. Yesterday, we had our 100th live sale, and that was on live.potomacbeads.com. You can still shop that. And then today, we are here on YouTube teaching. So teaching is my favorite, so we are going to get ready to get started. I'm going to show you the 2 simple materials that I have to get started. So to get started, all I have 2 colors of seed beads. And I want 2 colors of seed beads that do not match because we don't want our right angle weave to match. We want the sides to be different. When we are talking about right angle weave, if you've never done it before here, and I have a size 10 needle and some size 6 white dragon thread. When you talk about right angle weave, the idea is that you are creating these right angles here and creating basically a square. We are going to have side 1, bottom 2, side 3, top 4. Each right angle weave unit is going to consist of these 4 sides. We're going to be using the gold along the top and the bottom, and we're going to be using the blue along the sides. Sides, bottom, top. The sides are going to be the horizontal, the vertical, and the top and bottom are going to be your horizontal. When you're creating right angle weave, we are going to do basically a series of right angle weave units that when we look at them, they go in a grid as we're creating. This is always going to be, the whole bottom here is going to be gold. The whole top is going to also be gold. The sides going into all of them are going to be our blue bead. When we create one right angle weave, we create side number 1, bottom, side number 2, and top. When we create our next right angle unit, side number 2, which is our 3rd line that we're creating, now becomes 1 of the next block. So we're sharing that line. Then 2 for the bottom, then 3, then 4 for the top. We come back around to that right side. This will all make a lot more sense once you see it, and then we'll bring it back out. The left side or the right side of the box before is going to become the left side of the new box. Bottom, side, top, and then once again, you're going to share that, and that's going to become the right side. So our 2 different colors are going to help us to keep track of what is the top and the bottom. If you have any questions, let us know. It is warm down here in Maryland. It is, I had another shirt on and I actually changed to a tank top. So I'm really informal right now because it was warm in here and it's warm in the studio. I left the windows and the lights on last night by accident. So a little warm here in the studio. If you have never done right angle weave before, don't worry because I'm going to help you kind of figure that out. The first thing again that we are going to do is get our thread and needle. And I don't have a super long piece. I'm actually using just to start out some of my scrap pieces. If I have more than a foot, I usually keep them on my needle. So these are like pieces that got done from a previous project. I'm going to pour out my 2 piles of seed beads and we are going to get started. So, ooh, high of 89 in San Antonio. It's warm now. We definitely went from spring. I mean, Mimi wanted to wear her winter jacket this morning to school because she was cold. Because, you know, it's in the 50s in the morning. And then I was like, no, you don't want to have to carry it all over. So hello to Barbara and Anissa and India and Chris and Dee. And hello to some others kind of joining in here. Adorn Lockett, hello, hello. And to Phyllis, hello to everyone joining in, and to Barbara as well. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so we are going to learn some right angle weave. And I love how right now I'm going to move myself to the other side. No, I'm not. I was going to move myself to the other side so that you could see me, but you don't need to see me. I'll just hang out behind the play sign when you have it. Maybe I'll make myself a little bit bigger so I'm not as tucked behind the play sign. There we go. All right. So right angle weave. Again, our sides are going to be blue. Remember, our sides are blue and our top are gold. To begin, we're going to do a multi-bead right angle weave, meaning we're using more than one bead per side. If we use one bead per side, it's sometimes hard to see what those sides are. So we're going to stack it and actually use 3 beads tall. So I was going to do 2, but let's do 3 so you can see it even better. First things first, let's get a stop bead on the project. I'm going to take a bead that is not part of the project, which this one here is just, again, you're just learning. So no pressure. You're just learning. You don't need to actually finish or complete a project. I posted a picture this morning of the Aja earrings, which are actually a fun multi-row right angle project. You can do that after you learn this. Right now, we are going to start by going through and adding beads for side number 1. Side number 1 is going to consist of 3 blue beads. You can use 8/0s as well for this too. I'm going to use 11s because I want to keep the box kind of nice and small. 3 beads are going to go on for the right side. Then we've got our bottom because we're doing sides 1 and 2 right now. Our bottom is going to be 3 beads as well. Then we're going to do the right side of our box, 1 and 2 and 3 beads. And then we're going to do the top of our box, 1 and 2 and 3 beads. Those are going to sit right next to my stop bead. I am going to sew through the left side, the bottom, and the right side. So I'm going to take my needle and thread here. I'm going to go down through my left side, down through my blue beads. I'm going to go through my bottom, which is my gold beads. Give a nice tight pull and you'll see that cube starting to happen. And I'm going to go up through my right-hand side of my right angle weave. And there we have it. That is your first right angle weave unit. Now we need to do our second unit here. So we're coming out of the right side of our box. Coming out of the right side of the box, our thread's now at the top. No problem. We're going to do our next top, which is our 3 gold beads. We're going to do our next right side of box number 2. That's 3 blue beads. We're going to do the bottom of that box as well, because we're just doing a series of figure 8s. So we have our top, we have our right side, and we have our bottom. When you're going here, you're going to take your needle and thread now, go in from the bottom and up the right side of the box. Coming up the right side of the box here, we're going to bring our camera in a little closer. Our side number 3, that was the right side of box number 2, is now going to become the right side, or the left side rather, of box number 2. Look at that. There's our second box. Now we always have to get over to that shared side. So we always want to get over to the right. My thread's coming out the top. You'll start to notice the figure 8 where sometimes it comes out the top, sometimes it's the bottom. Whole way through the top of the right angle weave unit, and then down through the right side. Next one we're going to be going up through. That's it. Now we build our next box. The side of box number 2, the right side, the third line here, is going to be the first side. Look, our thread's already coming out. Now we know we need to do the bottom, which is going to be our 3 gold. Then we're going to do our right side, 1, 2, and 3 blue. Then we need the top, 1, 2, and 3. How am I knowing which one I need to do? I'm just drawing a line in my mind. Oh yeah, bottom, right, top. I'm going to go into the top of that, what was right-hand side and is right now becoming the left-hand side of this new unit. And I'm in the middle, so I know I need to get towards the right to make my next unit. So I'm going to go through the bottom, and then always, always, as you finish that row of right angle weave, you want to come out through the right side of the box. Last one, my thread was coming out the bottom. This one, it's coming out the top. So it's always going to be that case. Now I've got my top 3 beads, 1, 2, and 3. I've got my right side of my blue beads, and I've got my bottom of my right angle weave unit. Once again, threads coming out that right side of the last box. As soon as I put my needle into the opposite side of where the thread is coming out, it now becomes the left side of the new box that we just created. Threads on the top this time, because again, top, bottom, top, bottom. It's always going to come out opposite. I know I need to get over to the right, so don't overthink it. I'm going through the top this time, and then I'm going to come down through the right-hand side. That is it. You just made 4 units of right angle weave. 4 units. It does look like a little bit of a ladder when you're getting into it. And right angle weave, when you're learning how to go in and create and to make this, the beads themselves, I think it's really important to use 2 colors to keep track of what are your vertical lines and what are your horizontal. Your horizontal are your bottom and your top of the box, and your vertical lines are the walls or the sides, basically, of your box. Now, we are going to do 4 more right angle weave units, but we're going to build them below. So I could keep going if I want to, make it 6 units, make it 7 units, keep going and building this bracelet however long I want to get 1 row of right angle weave. We want to get a second row onto that. Since my thread is coming out the bottom of the right side, we're going to build onto the bottom. To build our next right angle weave, you can either go below or above and add your next row. I'm going to take this guy here, and I'm going to show you a little bit that drawing. So we have our 4 units that we created. 1, 2, 3, and our 4th unit. Not quite as big, sorry. 4 units right there that we've created along the top. What we are going to do is we need to make 4 more units. These 4 more units are going to go and connect to the bottom. We're going to take what was the bottom and we're going to make that the top of our next unit. We're going to come through there and we're going to add our next unit. Then we're going to go in and we're going to add another unit. We're going to add another unit and we're going to add another unit. From here then we're going to drop down, add another unit, add another unit, add another unit, add another unit. So we're going to do a 3x4 block is what we're going to create here. 3 long, 4 wide. We can do it the other way here. But what I want you to realize is that what was the bottom? So we'll call that number 2 of our units. Remember we had 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to use number 2, the bottom, to be the roof or the top of the next box. Then we're going to add a new side number 1, a new side number 2, a new side number 3, and that becomes number 4 for us. So these are 3 and 1. These are 2 and 4, top and bottom. Get it? All right. It's easier once you're seeing it as you're looking at it. So what is the product code for the blue sea beads? The blue sea beads are silver lined blue zircon. So this one might not be the exact same item number anymore. It's 70093, but silver lined blue zircon. There was a 1 point the gold line shared or gold luster blue lined. These gold ones are the Miyuki Duracoat galvanized pale gold. and the blue are the silver lined. All right, so ready? We're going in here and we're going to create the next units. The reason I'm using the 11 O's is because I want to do multiple ones rather than just use one bead in each. When you do one bead in each, that's great. That's also right angle weave, but it's a little bit harder to see your forms. So now I want to use the bottom, that second line, that bottom gold one, to be the top of my next box. So I'm going to take my thread and needle from the right side of the box and we're going down into the bottom. Now I don't want to lose you, but I like to flip my project because I don't like to sew away from me. I like to sew towards me. So I'm going to take my project and I'm just going to flip it in my hand. That's it. We're going to do the exact same steps, but we're going to flip it. Now I'm coming out the gold here. And I know I need a right side, a left side, and a right side, a bottom, and a left side. So I need my 3 beads that are going to be my bottom line here. Then I need 3 more golds that are going to be right there along the bottom. 3 more blues that are the left side of the box. I'm going to sew back through because we're sharing that line. So I'm sewing back through those 3 beads that my thread is currently coming out of. When I do that, the blues become now my vertical lines and my horizontal are still my gold. Just like we said previously, we have to come out the right side of the box. So we're going to go down through the blue, and now we're ready to connect our next box. Now, here's where it becomes a little trickier. Going back to our grid, what was side number 3 is once again going to become side number 1. What was the bottom line number 2 is going to become the top bead. We're going to add these and keep going. So you're going to be having shared walls basically as you go and you create these multi-rows of right angle weave. From here, looking at it, I need a bottom to my next box, which is going to be my 3 pale gold. Then I need a right side to my box, 3 of my silver line blue zircon. And then my top of my box is already there, and the left of my box is already there as well. So from now on, I'm just going to do I'm adding only 2 sides at a time. Going through those top beads because I still need that right angle weave unit. And then closing up that right angle weave. So you want to make sure that you have thread going the whole way around. You're going to go down through those beads on the right. Now remember, just like I said, we always still need to get over to the right hand side. So we're going to go through the bottom and we're going to come out through that right hand side of the previous row. Now, the previous row here is your right angle bead side. So coming here, when you do your right angle weave, you have the beads here that are going to be going in and are the second row, second block. Here's where some people looking at it can get a little bit confused because you don't need to add more beads because your top is already there. So you're following the beads and the thread path here. You're going to go through and create your next box. Remember, we only need 2 sides now because we're sharing 2. I want you to go through the top, which was the bottom of the last box. And then we need to add our right side, 1, 2, 3, and another bottom to our box. From here, we're going to close up that box, going back through the right side of the previous box. We get our next right angle weave unit, and we still need to get over to the right side of the box. So we're going to go through the top 3 beads, and we're going to go down through the 3 beads on the right. And look at that, we have our 3rd right angle weave unit. And notice how the sides here and the middle lines are starting to get much more squared as you're looking at it. Sides at the top have a little bit of a roundedness to it. But I like as you're using the smaller beads too, you can see those lines a little bit better. We need 2 more sides for box number 4 in row 2 of our right angle weave. We need 3 beads for our bottom. And we need 3 beads for the right. From here, we're going up to the top because we're going to share the bottom of the last box is going to become the top of my new box. we're going to go down through and connect and close up the box, making sure all lines are connected with thread. And now normally we're going to go over, down through the bottom. We're going to go out through the right-hand side, and we're going to continue to grow. However, we want to do a third row. So just like we did with the second one, we're creating a third row of beads. I'm not going to flip this yet so you can get the hang of it as we go in and then flip it after. What was the bottom of the last box is now going to be the top of my next third row box. 3 beads for the right side, 3 beads for the bottom, and you can always watch this again and slow it down also, and 3 beads for the left side. Now you're going to say left and right because I'll show you what I'm going to do. Those 3 new sides are on there because I'm doing a new row of my right angle weave. I'm going back through to connect the 4 sides together. And then once again, I need to get to the right side of the box. Right now it looks like the left side, but look at this. We're going to flip our piece, and now it's the right side. So I'm always sewing and moving towards the same direction. I'm going to go through my beads along my right angle unit all the way till I come out through the right side of my right angle. Coming out that right side of the right angle, I know I've got another right angle unit to make. So to make my, ooh, that got big. To make my next right angle unit, I've already got the top and I already have the left side. I just need the right side and the bottom. So I'm going to take my needle and thread through the bottom of the previous row, just like that. Now I know I need my right side because I don't have anywhere that I can kind of grab a right side from. I'm going to use my 3 for my bottom. And then I'm going to sew in through the beads on the right-hand side that my thread was originally coming out of. And that closes up my right angle unit. Still need to get out over on the right. Going through the beads there at the top and down through the beads on the right. There I am. I've got my first 2 units out of 4 on my third row. So not bad, everybody. You've got a fair amount done already. So roll as the base does take it takes a lot of time, but it really is a great base. Dee is right. When you're looking at right angle weave, if you've never done it before, you want to go in and kind of check it out. This is the base for a lot of great embellishment. From here, we're going to close up. So I'm going to go in, and then we're going to do 3 for our bottom, 3 for our right, go into the top here of the previous row, and then we're going to come down through the side that our thread was originally coming out of, closing up that right angle weave. And once again, I've got to get over to the right. Once I'm over to the right, I have to make 1 more right angle weave box. We're going to go through the top that's already there. We're going to add 3 beads for our right side, 3 beads for our bottom. And guess what? Close up that box and finish our right angle weave that is 4 by 3. I'm going to go in. I'm running out of thread here. I'm going to grab some new thread. And then right back through to close up. So we just made 4 by 3 right angle weave. So when you're looking at this, it does kind of look like a quilt or something like that. We did right angle weave, but instead of using 1 bead for each side of our right angle weave to get that nice squared look, we used 3. We made it 4 long by 3 high, or 4 wide by 3 tall. I can keep going and I can get another one, but I want to show you, in case you're still struggling with it, how we got started in case you came in late. So let me grab some more thread. I have some green here that I'll grab. Go in and get that needle threaded. Feel free to ask questions too. We're going to do 1 more here. And I'm going to keep with that same color. So I'm going to keep with the same color so we can get started, and we're going to go in and basically restart this. Then after that, we're going to embellish it. And embellish is what Dee was saying, that it's the great base for things. We're going to take it and we are going to drop a crystal bead into the middle of each of our rows. And then when we have it, it's going to sit on the diagonal like that. Now, you don't need to do the two separate colors. You can do them all one color as you get going. But what this does is this helps you to learn, again, that box and keep track of where you are, top and bottom. Once you learn it, you can use anything for this, but you can always go back and do it with all one color. So, ready? We're going to get started again for those of you that may need help or have been struggling with it. We've got our right side of our box, our bottom, left side, bottom, right side, top. Top and bottom here are going to be gold. Your sides are going to be or blue. The other thing you can do also is start to do cubic right angle weave, which looks like this. And I have a crawl necklace where actually beads are going inside. You can check out that video. First things first, I'm going to start with a stop bead and put that on. You don't need to start with a stop bead. You can just kind of hold the thread, but if you are a beginner, stop beads are a good idea. Leave a little bit of extra thread at the end because you never know. Now we're going to start our next right angle weave unit. Get my beads here. I'm going to start with my left side of my box. Then I'm going to start with my bottom of my box. Right side of my box, 3 beads. Top of my box, 3 beads. Let those all drop down next to your stop bead. You're going to sew through the left side of the box, the bottom of the box, and the right side of the box. Once you're doing that, look at that. You've got your first right angle weave unit. We're going to do 4 units. We need another top. We need another right. And we need another bottom. What was the right side of the last unit, as soon as I put thread in the opposite way, is now going to be the right side of the box before it and the left side of the new box. As we create, you always need to get over to the right side of the box. That's something that I think with right angle weave, when I first learned it, I had trouble, especially with multi-row, realizing, oh yeah, I always need to get over to the right. Always want your thread and needle coming out the right side of the box, because that right side of the box is going to become the left side of the next box. So I have my 3 beads on for my bottom, 3 for my right, 3 for my top. Going in here, I'm going to go into the right side of the last box, which again, as soon as we do that, becomes the left side of the new box. Take my needle and thread through a figure 8 pattern and come out through the right hand side. One more right angle weave unit to go. Top, right, bottom. I'm going to go into the right side of the box that my thread is coming out of. It magically turns into the left side of the new box. And then once again, I'm going to get my thread and needle so it's coming out through the right hand side. Now we don't want to keep going. We're going to do another row of right angle weave. So because we want to do another row of right angle weave, we're going to connect to the bottom. We're going to sew through the bottom of this box that's above, and that becomes the top of the new box. I'm going to flip it in my hand so it's going towards the right. And now I'm going to add my next box sitting right on top. 3 beads go for the right. 3 beads go for the bottom. 3 beads go for the left. We're going to sew back in to those 3 beads that are now going to become, we're the bottom of the last box and now they're the top of the new box. Just like we've been doing, we want our thread and needle to come out the right hand side of the box we're working on. You just got your second row of your right angle weave started. Now that second row of the right angle weave, when you are going in and you are teaching this, is box number 1 of row 2. So here we are row 1 and we have 4 wide of row number 1. Here we're on row number 2 and we're 1 wide on row number 2. It's called right angle weave because all of these create a right angle weave when you're working on them. Now we have 2 sides of our box already that we're going in, because remember, row number, or the bottom of first row, which was line number 2 that we did, is now going to become the top of the next box. The sides are going to be the third row that we did, or the third line that we did, and they're going to become the right side of the next one. So coming out here of the right side, I know, yep, once again, 1, 2, and 3 beads need to go on for the bottom. 1, 2, 3 beads for the new right of my next box. From here, we are going to go in and we are going to go back through the beads that are already along the top because they're so nice and kind and hey, they want to be part of this box. So we already have 2 sides as you go in. After you start your first box on your second, third, fourth row, you only then are ever adding 2 sides and connecting to 2 that are already there. Close up this box by again coming out that right side of the last box that you're connecting to, and then work your way over so you're coming out through the right side. Always out the right side. Going up here, always out the right side. Now, a common mistake, since we're on the second one here, a common mistake that some people will do is go into the next right angle weave box through the right and left through the vertical sides. Never go through the vertical sides from one vertical side to another. You should always have an opening here and never thread going through the middle. That is kind of like cheating right angle weave. You can do it. Sometimes you'll never notice, honestly, if you're embellishing, but we're going to learn the correct way. So from here, I'm out the right side of my box, and look, the top is already there. What was the bottom of the third unit in row 1 is now the top of the third unit in row 2. 1, 2, 3 seed beads as I clean up my mat for the right, 3 seed beads for the bottom, back into the right side of the last box, which again now magically becomes the left side. Take your needle and thread through your box that you just created until you come out the right hand side of the box. Right hand side of the box here becomes the left as we go in. I need a couple more beads out here. And create my new bottom for my last box, my 4th box on my second row. Right side, and then go into the top from the opposite direction. If you're wondering how to go, just draw the line in your mind. Linda, I've been seeing you in forever. Linda, glad you could make it. And also, Lady FLL, thank you very much for saying I'm an excellent teacher. I love teaching. All right, we're going to go down through that side to make our last right angle weave. And then instead of going all the way over to the right side, we can if we want. And then we'll just have to circle back around. Instead of going all the way over to the right, we're out the bottom here. I'm going to flip this in my hand so that way I can work again towards the right. I'm going to go a little faster now as we build this last line. Right side, bottom, or left side, bottom, right side. Sharing what was the bottom of row number 2 is now the top of row number 3. Once again, just kind of twisting it in my hands, I need to get to the right side so I can build more boxes. Going through the side, going through the bottom. Now I come out through the right-hand side of that box. Right-hand side of the box here then, when you're looking at it, is going to go in and come out the top because we're coming out the right-hand side. Then our top of our box is already there, which is the bottom of row 2. Ooh, don't get your thread caught. There you go. Now I need a right side. You're going to get sick. You're going to hear me in your sleep saying right side, left side, bottom, top. Then we're going to go into the right side of the last one, creating, hey, now it became the left side of the new one. And I need to work my needle and thread over. So I'm coming out again the right side. You'll notice the more that you do it, you go through the right side. And when you're coming out the right side, you're going to go top, then bottom, then top, then bottom. You're then going to, once again, bottom, right side, and then we're going to connect. And you can see I kind of turn it, just go through as many beads as I can at once. Once again, out through the right side. Right away, after I'm out through the right side, I'm going to go through the 3 that are going to be the next top. 1, 2, 3 for the right. 1, 2, no other third bead to clean up. Get this out. And then I'm going to show you how to embellish. So next is our embellishing for this. Beads go on. We're going to go into that last side, closing up our right angle weave, going through the top, and we're going to come out through our right side. All right, so we've got 4 long by 3 high. And this is called 3-drop right angle weave or 3-bead right angle weave. Again, I think it's way easier to go in and do the right angle weave with multiple beads to see those squares taking place. When you do it with 1 bead, I'm just going to show you. Most of you on here have beaded before, but if you've never beaded, this is what the right angle weave looks like when you're doing it with just 1 bead on each side. A little bit hard to keep track of. So having the multiple beads makes it a little bit easier to keep track of. I can go if I want to and keep going here where I'm coming out the right hand side. I add bottom, top, bottom, right, top. Keep going and come out the right hand side as well. But it's really hard when you're just learning to see those right angle weave units when it is 1. That's why I go in usually and teach with multiples. I'm going to take off my needle real quick, get these right angle weave beads off, put on my needle, and then we're going to show how to embellish. So when it comes to embellishing these earrings, if you're a Rams fan, this is, I think, NFL draft, I think, is tonight. These would be good for the Rams fans out there. What other team is yellow and blue? I'm sure there's another one. What else is yellow and blue? I think the Rams are the yellow and blue. All right, so in here now, we are going to embellish our right angle weave. So very rarely actually do you do right angle weave where it's not embellished. Almost always right angle weave tends to be embellished. Now I'm going to embellish with, let's see here, some 4mm sunflower yellow beads. I'm doing this because I want the beads to be able to see. Chargers, there we go. Okay, I want the yellow beads so you can see through rather than the bright blue. I was going to put blue, but that makes it hard to see your right angle weave. I'm using a 4mm bead, and I'm not going to go in and embellish with any 15s or anything on them. I'm just going to show you the most simple way to embellish with your right angle weave. We are coming out the right side. We are always going to come out through the sides. So when we embellish, you have to pick. You can always come up through the top and the bottom, or you can always come out the side. You can change it, but I tend to come out the sides. I like the way that it looks. I'm going to add a 4mm bicone, which sit pretty perfectly in the middle of these right angle units. I'm going to go over to the other one of my vertical sides. So I'm going from the left side to the right side, and I'm going to go on an angle. So my thread is going to go right across like that. I'm going to go from that down through the right side. So we always wanted to come out through that right side, and guess what? Now we're always coming out the right side again. Add a crystal. Thread goes to across the top on a diagonal like that, down through that right side. Once again, bead goes on. If you don't want to see thread, you can use 15s on the sides. If your bead is too small, it's going to cause your right angle weave to kind of bunch up a little bit. If it's too big, the bead will just sit on the top and you won't see the right angle weave. From here, I'm going to do my last one, and then I'm coming out through the right-hand side and down. All right, so we got 1 row embellished. Super simple, super easy. How do I get to the middle? Like this. You're going to go around your right angle weave unit, all the way around here, through that right angle weave unit, and you're just sewing over until you're coming out the opposite side. Now we're in this row here. We were coming out the bottom here and going to the top. We're just doing the opposite, but our beads are going to sit exactly the same. Adding in a 4mm crystal. This time we're going from the top over to the bottom, down through the same line. There you go. Super simple to go in and basically you're just filling the windows is the way that you can think about it, is you're just filling up your blocks with pretty crystals in them. When we get to the top, same, or when we get to the next row, same thing. So here we are in our right angle weave. We're coming out the bottom, going into the top, and we're on the side of our right angle. Now, here's where I said you can cheat and just kind of go straight across, but you'll see thread. We don't want to cheat. We don't want to go straight across. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through our right angle weave, through those shared lines, and we're going to get it so we're coming out through the right angle weave, left and right sides, making sure that we're exiting through one of those sides. Once you're exiting that side, we're back to the bottom here. We're going to go and we're going the bottom to the top. So we're getting, by going through the right angle weave in the same rows here, the beads to all sit in the same direction. So when I look at my bicones, none are sitting on this way with the hole. They're all sitting from basically left bottom corner to right top. Going in here, then we'll finish up this one here. And then I'll show you how I do a wire guard or wire guardian to create the earring. Now, this being said, with this right angle weave, we're going to be doing right angle weave at the retreat, which is on Sunday. Those of you that are on the live right now, if you placed a comment sold order or a live order last night, I'm just going to keep your orders here and hand them to you on Sunday when the retreat starts, because otherwise they're going to be at your houses when you are not there. So if you are a retreat person, I'm going to hold your order if I can, and you have it there. All right, last crystal goes in. I'm right here at the stop bead, which is super convenient. I'm going down through those 3 beads along the side. And as I go down through those 3 beads along the side, we are going to then come up, and you can choose how you want your earring to hang. So do you want it to hang that the wire guard, which I use, I just handed Nathan all my samples. I just did 4 different videos over the last 3 days, and I just had him take pictures of them. You can do it so that it's like that. You can do it so it sits on an angle and sits kind of like the patchwork. Because we are not the same number of lines, I'm going to go ahead and I'll connect it right there to the middle. So how do I get to the middle? And then if I want to, I can do fringe down the end. I can do whatever I want. Lots of options to go off the right angle weave. So in here, I'm going to go through my right angle weave. Again, always going through just those lines to come, because you should never ever see, when it comes to right angle, thread going through the middle here, connecting your right angle units. They should always be connected along the side. Going in through the beads here, through the top, and now I'm ready for my wire guard. Wire guard at the top here, we'll add 1 more gold bead just for the style, up through the wire guard. And if you've never used a wire guard before, I love wire guardians. Wire guardians are awesome because they have a really polished, finished look. Like here's a pair of earrings that Chris made, who's on here as well. Hey, Chris. That you can hang down from your huggy earrings, which I did have on earlier, and then I had to take them off for photography. But you can use your wire guards, hang them down from your huggy earrings. You can kind of do whatever, but they make a nice finished look. So I'm going to put my seed bead on. Then I'm going up through my wire guard, through the little channel that sits on the side. From there, I'm going to go down through on the opposite side, grab an 11, and go back through, get that thread out of the way so you don't see it. Going back through that line of blue seed beads along the side. That's it. You're going to reinforce going back up through. Anytime you're using a wire guard, I always like to put at least 2 pieces of thread through. It's just like a clasp or closure, always 2, 3 is even better. Coming on down, making sure as I put that second one in that it still gets caught, especially if you're doing a third on that line. Bead goes in here. Now, you can say, it's a little flimsy. How do I go in and how do I stiffen it up? Notice how you have all of these gaps where the beads kind of start their right angle unit. What you can do if you want to stiffen it up is fill in the dots. So you go around adding a blue one in where the blues go. Oops. On the corners, remember that's that stop bead, just move it out of the way. On the corners, I'll add the gold because it's going down the side. In between the sides, add your gold every 3 beads as you connect your right angle weave units. So you don't have to do this with these earrings, but this is just to show you how basically to tighten this up, to make it look good. And I like for those of you that already know right angle weave, this is kind of the progressive next step. You can also use 15-0s if you want. And why did I pick gold? I just made a choice. Gold versus blue. Either one could have worked here for the bottom corner. Because the gold line was already longer, I decided to go with that one. At the ends, you put your blue in to match, or you could put gold. I could also, if I wanted to, down here at the end, put in a drop bead, have anything there. Add another blue bead. Go through the blue bead. When I get to the corner, add my gold. And this, again, is really just connecting the dots, going all the way around. Right angle weave, as Dee said earlier, is a great foundational stitch to embellish like we did here through this simple embellishment, going up along the sides. And hopefully if you've been struggling at all with multi-row right angle weave, you can rewatch this video. You can, if you want to, slow it down. I tried to go slow. I grew up in Pennsylvania and I have that fast Philly talk. We talk fast in Pennsylvania and we speak quickly. I'm going to go right over to the corner here, and because I can kind of take my project towards the back, and if I wanted to I could go in and do those extra beads along the top here. I'm just going to take my project and my thread towards the back, pull off that stop bead, grab those 2 threads, take them toward the back of the project, tie them off, take my thread zapper thread burner, or those of you that have been watching know that I've had a lot of fun using my flamethrower here. I really need to get my scissors. They are at my house. But cutting that down, then what I've been having fun doing is burning and pulling this towards the back, going in with my flame, burning it down, and basically the beads stop it. Turning it to the front, you have your final total right angle weave unit. So we went from a single row to creating 3 rows, 4 wide, 3 high. We changed it on its side. Could have done it either way. We embellished it, and then we closed in all those gaps with our 11 OC beads. So they do kind of look like waffles too. We could do them as waffle earrings. Go in, and makes me want to add some little bit of syrup to it. So you can also fill in the inside of the earring as well with beads. You can do whatever you want with this right angle weave. Again, the idea is not necessarily that you're making a finished project. If you do, great. I'm going to go back in and embellish this so I can finish these little waffle earrings, add my next one on. And then anytime you're adding an ear wire, I have any gold sitting by? I think I just have silver, so I'll show you silver. Anytime you're adding an ear wire or a jump ring, wherever you have the loop, whether or not it's a oval like this or a complete round, you're always going to push to the side. If your wire guard loop is small and you can't get over like the ball like that, you can just go up the back. But then you're going to twist it closed and close up that ear wire. Nice and simple. That is it. That's all she wrote. So this gives you, and here I'll change it this angle. Of course, I have an earring already in, so can't push that in. Here is the earring then, and how it sits. So you can see that 3 wide, about the length that it is. It's right about 1 inch in its cube. You can do it all different colors. You can also do it so you go from 4 units in the middle to 3 on the outside to 2. So you don't need to connect all those units together. Let me show you what I mean quick. when you're doing these units, if you want to, 4 in the middle, you can actually not do those on the side. You can then do 2 on the side. So you can drop it down where you have 4 in the middle, 3 on the right, 2 then, 1 then, and make it actually into a triangle as well too. So lots and lots of different versions that you can do with right angle weave. Again, I love how versatile it is, and I think it's very intimidating for people to do multi-row right angle weave, but once you learn it, it's so easy to go in and to get those going. So if you want to, this video will be available again to watch. If you want to check out last night's live sale, that one is available still to watch. And then also Tuesday's fringe video that I'm turning into a video that will publish on next Saturday as well too. So those of you that are traveling this weekend to get here, we can't wait to see you on Sunday here at the warehouse and then over at our venue. And again, we'll be gathering the live sale orders tomorrow morning, shipping those out or holding them if you are coming to the sale as well. For the okay, so if you also, again, want to check out right angle weave, some of the different earrings are the Aja earrings, AJA. You can look at some of those older videos, check those out and learn those as well. We would love to have you share this video as also. If you can give a little thumbs up, that's awesome. It shows that people are engaged with it and that they like the content. You can also make sure to subscribe to us, that little button in the bottom corner there, because that also helps us out in this kind of crazy changing world. The more we can share this fun craft, I think the better for society. It kind of takes the place of doing some therapy. So as always, guys, thank you so, so much, and can't wait to see some of you on Sunday. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And also, he hates this, but happy birthday today to my husband, Nate. So see you, everybody. Bye.